Now on to the grip frame. Here we got the Denix. And then this is the AGM. Since AGM is an airsoft gun, they need to make quite a few changes to fit the internals. And it looks nothing like what it should. Now the Denix is very close to right shape and dimensions. It's a little bit here and there that's off, but overall it's pretty close. This is the fire control group that was originally in the Denix. And then this is a reproduction one that I had to modify quite a bit to make work. These were two pieces. I had to weld them together. Then since there's quite a bit of space without all the full auto parts, need to make some spacers, welded them on, and instead of using a original or reproduction hammer, I used a hammer spring. I used one from a set-me, and it fits. And basically, eventually set-me kind of copied this design, changed it up a little bit, but it still functions very similar. Now the holes here and here are in the right location. They just needed to be drilled out to 5mm. And I got 5mm rivets that drilled a hole in the head of it a little bit to make it look closer to the rivets that were originally used. Now I'm not going to rivet the other end. I cut a slot for an E-clip. That way I can change out if I ever wanted to. Now the grips. This is the Denix. This is a reproduction one. There are some differences, mainly around here. And because of that, the reproduction ones don't quite fit on the grip frame. But the Denix ones look decent enough that I'm just going to go with them. I also got spacing of these holes is off by quite a bit. So that would take quite a bit more work to make the reproduction ones fit. And I don't think it's really worth the effort. The Denix ones pretty much look the part. They were originally held on with wood screws into here. I had to drill through so I could use a screw, and I made this according to the drawings. And then I had to make the nut. You can buy the nut, but I was going through the trouble making the screw that you can't buy, so I figured I'll just make the nut. Now one of the biggest things needed for here is the safety. The Denix, it was kind of looked like that, all molded in one piece. This one is from the AGM. Actually would kind of fit on there. Had the screw through the center here, and then one right there. Cut couple of pegs that would ride inside this slot, and you push it forward and back. And this hole here lined up with those with a little ball bearing and a spring for a detent. So I had to mill this all down, get it flat, and I figured out where the center of the hole should be. Drilled all the way through the small bit first, and then made slightly undersized for the final hole, and then I adjust it with files, make sure it was lined up perfectly. I had to stamp the S and then make the little slot for the detent. Using the drawings, came up with my own safety. Followed pretty much the same dimensions. Used a screw instead of trying to machine a little lug on there. Took off the little pegs that were on here. Drilled all the way through this hole for a screw. And attach it all together with Loctite. Now it does interact with the trigger, and this was all custom to make it work. Originally it doesn't work like this, but to get the original kind of setup would have been a lot more work, more parts, and the way I went just simplified it.